Okay, NXT TakeOver, New York. Yeah, even though it was in Brooklyn, so it wasn't Brooklyn 5, it was just TakeOver New York. Anyway, just wrapped up about 15 or so minutes ago. Overall, a spectacular show. I mean, I thought this thing was looking painfully predictable coming in. There were a couple of curveballs that happened, and we'll get to them. But thankfully, the talent in the matches all just carried everything through to a spectacular level, above and beyond. I've seen on Twitter so far that a lot of people are calling this the best ever. Maybe inclined to agree, really. I mean, probably the best ever since at least TakeOver New Orleans last year. But we'll start things off with the NXT Tag Team Championship match. The War Raiders versus Ricochet and Aleister Black, who won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Opening up, Rowe and Black did. Rowe actually had a chance to do some ground and pound on Black, and he actually held back a little bit and decided not to, and Aleister Black had a chance to go for a cheap kick, but didn't. Ricochet and Hansen tagged in. Hansen countered a quarter splash into a senton. Black broke up a power slam with a spin kick onto Rowe's inner thigh. And this was a really great match. Unfortunately, during one of the rest periods, the crowd noticed something that distracted them because they started chanting, "You deserve it." And the only thing I could think of is Kofi Kingston must have been in the crowd for an establishing shot or something. I didn't see anything, but yeah, that could have been what it was. Rowe hit a hip toss knee strike combo onto, I believe it was Black. Ricochet hit Hansen with a follow-away. He actually caught Hansen in like a cross-body and hit a follow-away slam out of it. At one point, Hansen whipped Ricochet into the corner. He tried to whip Black into Ricochet, but Ricochet actually kind of back body dropped Black to avoid him. And unfortunately, I don't think they timed it right. This seemed unscripted because Aleister Black fell out of the ring and he hit the ring apron with his chin really hard. It looked like it knocked him for a bit of a loop. Black flipped over the ropes and hit, oh yeah, I just said that. Rowe and Black both hit jumping knee strikes. Eventually what happened towards the end of this was Hansen hit a senton to the outside of the ring, and then everyone got back inside the ring. Black hit a black mass on Rowe. Ricochet went for a shooting star press, but then Hansen pushed Black into the pin attempt and broke that up. Then Ricochet tried to go for the 630, but Hansen pulled Rowe out of the way, enabling Hansen to get the hot tag in. And they hit the Hammer of Thor and then the Fallout on Ricochet for the 3 count of the victory. Like I said, this was not a surprise since Black and Ricochet are on the main roster. Heck, they have a match tomorrow at WrestleMania. So, yes, again, like a little predictable. Afterwards, both Aleister Black and Ricochet got a standing ovation from the crowd because obviously they're not in NXT anymore. They're officially on the main roster now. Like I said, a really good match. Unfortunately, kind of ruined by the crowd a little bit by being distracted by whatever it was that distracted them. And, okay, so after this, we have the North American Championship match. Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle, bro. Opening up a very mixed reaction for Matt Riddle, even though he was still playing kind of his babyface style. I noticed he did come out in New York Yankees paraphernalia, and I don't think he realized the New York Yankees are not popular in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I still believe, is kind of firmly in the Dodger camp. I mean, I've known that for a long time because obviously, you know, you go way back to it, like when the Dodgers were there, that it was the Dodgers and the Yankees all the time. And I don't know if the Brooklyn fans have since transferred over to the Mets or not, but I do know that there's still a lot of resentment towards the Yankees, so maybe that was why they were booing him. Dream had Dream had the greatest entrance. I mean, amazing. He comes out dressed like the Statue of Liberty, being carried on a platform. He had the torch and the crown. He had everything. He's just holding it up. He was holding up the North American Championship belt as the torch, and God Bless America played it. Oh, it was so good. Riddle pretty much dominated most of the match. He had you know, a lot of Kimura. He had like a Kimura takedown. Basically, you put him in sort of the beginning of that Kimura arm wringer, and he flipped Dream out of that. Dream hit a triangle axe handle. He tried to go to the outside of the ring, but Riddle caught him and hit a German suplex on basically out on that ring barricade area. Riddle hit a flash kick, and the Fisherman Buster only got a 2 count. Dream got to the ropes, but Riddle began acting more and more heelish as this happened. Every time Dream could fight back just a little bit, Riddle got more and more flustered, more and more angry. Riddle hit a GTS and then a German suplex for a 2 count. Dream began doing the hulking up, the pointing and the waving, except he then went for an elbow, but Riddle countered that into an ankle lock. Dream hit a DVD and went for the Purple Rainmaker. At one point, he went for another Purple Rainmaker, and Riddle caught him and did a deadlift German suplex from... He caught it, like, Dream was on the ring apron. Riddle caught him in the German suplex, suplexed him over those ropes and into the ring. It was so vicious looking. And Dream, again, Riddle kind of got a little cocky, and he started to go for the Pro Mission, and Dream somehow countered that into a pinning predicament for the 3 count. After that, they did bump fists, though. I mean, though you could tell Riddle was still quite upset, and I do believe this is probably the beginning of a Matt Riddle heel turn. Okay, our next match is the NXT United Kingdom Championship match. Pete Dunne versus Walter. Walter basically immediately tried to lure Dunne into it. Got him in like a standing bow and arrow hold a little bit. If you don't know anything about Walter, he basically kind of built the German wrestling scene, which had been very lagging in the past few years. He kind of helped build that really back up, and now he's gone over to NXT UK, and basically he's kind of, because they're trying to expand either NXT, basically they're trying to do kind of developmental territories around just about everywhere. Like they're working on doing Australia, they're working on doing kind of Japan into Australia, and India, and the Middle East, and I guess technically he's in the UK, but you know they're trying to use that to extend to all of Europe, basically. Dunne dodged attempt for Walker to land Walter to land one of his big chops. Walter stepped on Dunne. At one point, Walter had Dunne draped across the turnbuckle. He just stomped right down on Dunne's chin. Dunne came back, he locked on a heel lock. Dunne, when he started to rally, he definitely started to do a lot of his finger breaking stuff. Tweak the fingers, trying to nullify Walter's deadly chops. Walter hit a power bomb into a jackknife. He actually put all his weight onto himself to try to get the jackknife pin, but it didn't. The way it worked, we only got a 2 count on it. Another point, Walter came back and he stomped once on, like they were doing a test of strength, and he came out of it and he stomped on Dunne's chin. He then got his feet around Dunne's neck and did kind of that twisting move with his legs. Again, Dunne just constantly was going for the fingers. Dunne hit a double stomp to the outside of the ring at another point. Walter came back. Walter countered a bitter end into a lariat. Dunne did hit a bitter end and only got a 2 count. Walter tried to do a move, but he went for a top rope splash, which Walter is not an aerial ace by any stretch of the imagination. So Dunne countered that, hit a running power bomb. But Walter came back and he tried again to go to the top rope, but Dunne came up, tried to go for a Hurricane Rana. Walter blocked that, hit a top rope super bomb, and then followed that with a top rope splash for the 3 count and the victory. So yes, Walter has broken the nearly 700-day title reign of Pete Dunne. And as much as I love Pete Dunne, it feels like this was a long time coming, because he's been the UK champion, like I said, for almost 2 years. So yeah. And he hasn't really dropped it. I mean, he's had great matches, but, you know, maybe it's time for a little bit of cycle through and get some new blood into there. And, again, Dunne probably should either be in NXT proper at this point, or he should be on the main roster. I think he's done what he can do with the NXT UK division. And after that, we have the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's Championship match. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane versus Io Shirai versus Bianca Belair. Kairi Sane and Io Shirai, of course, the tag team known as the Sky Pirates. Right off the bat, Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler went after the Sky Pirates, kind of tossed them out of the ring. They then went after each other. The Sky Pirates came back in and they hit a double drop kick on Baszler. They hit a kind of, it began a stare down. I mean, obviously they're playing the idea that Sane and Shirai are friends, but they're going to have to go through each other if they want to win the championship. And that did play quite a bit into this. A lot of stuff happened on the outside of the suplex, or outside of the ring. At one point, there was kind of a pyramid of doom, and Shayna Baszler was going for a gut wrench suplex on Belair, and like the Sky Pirates basically came in and power bombed Baszler off of the ring, off the top rope. So that's how that worked. Baszler tried to do. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Belair. Sorry, Belair and Baszler. It's my handwriting is terrible. Belair tried to do the double chicken wing slam, but Baszler fought out of that and locked on an RNC. But Belair fought out of that, hit the KOD, but Shirai broke the pin. Shirai hit an X Factor on that, but Sane broke the pin after Shirai hit a moonsault. Sane hits the insane elbow, but Shirai broke up that pinfall. Sane countered a body slam into a DDT on Shirai. Was going for the insane elbow, but Shirai got up and tried to counter it, and then Belair got into the ring and got both of them on her neck of the torture rack. And did the KOD torture rack finisher. And you can tell that really hurt Belair because it's like she's strong enough that she could carry them, but you could see the strain it was putting on her neck. It was pretty bad. And that immediately enabled Baszler to slip into the ring and lock Belair in the Kirifuna, the rear naked choke, that's what it is. And Belair tapped pretty quickly after that. So, yeah, this was kind of the one match I was sort of wavering on the whole night. Like, I was surprised that Dream retained over Riddle. I'll just touch on that match briefly again. I thought Riddle, well, obviously they're grooming Riddle to be big. He's going to win this. Dream's really ready for the main roster. He should probably be up there, but no, Dream retained. So, I mean, we at least kind of get that going for a while now. This one, again, this is the other one I was kind of wavering on. I thought, well, they could do a title change here, but I don't really see that because I know they want to still work this faction with Jessamyn Duke, Marina Shafir, Shayna Baszler. They're trying to do the Four Horsewomen. So, you know, when Rousey comes back or if she comes back. But the problem is Duke and Shafir just are not ready. They're so green. Baszler's the best worker out of all of them. She's even better than Rousey. Okay? And I said, you know, so I didn't quite see them taking the championship off her yet. I don't think they're ready to put her on the main roster. Afterwards, Duke and Shafir came out and celebrated in the ring. We saw Kushida, the Japanese star in the crowd. He's WWE's new signing. I guess we saw him a little bit earlier. And of course, not too much else else happened. I mean, the only other thing was Edge and Beth Phoenix were in the crowd again. Thankfully, not in the same space as Kushida was. Like, I think it was the TakeOver in Orlando. They put, I think it was Drew McIntyre in one spot, and then later in the show they showed, I think it was Jeff Jarrett and Goldust in the same spot, and then they showed Edge and Beth Phoenix in the exact same spot, because there was this one fan in one shirt, she just kind of recognized them in each shot. At least this time they were a little more tactful and put them in different spots in the arena. And now we come to our main event, the 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT Championship, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, baby! So the storyline with this is obviously they're going to be building towards 2 out of 3 falls, Gargano and Ciampa, but unfortunately Ciampa suffered an injury with his neck. I don't know if it's stenosis or not, and stenosis is rampant in the wrestling business if you're not aware, but he's out for the year now, and he had to vacate the championship. So Cole won a fatal 5-way match to get the other spot. They said, well, we put Gargano in there anyway, so he's in there now. And Mixed reaction for Gargano during the introduction. He got a lot of boos, even though he's supposed to be the babyface in this scenario. Also, the crowd was chanting Adam Cole, Johnny No. Early on, both men tried to hit several striking attacks. They kept dodging them. It was like kick, dodge, kick, dodge, kick, dodge. Gargano managed to hit a baseball drop kick through the ropes. Cole came back and hit a dragon sleeper, and Gargano hit a Listo kick and then a slingshot spear. Cole hit a backstabber for the second rope, and then Cole followed that up with the last shot for the first fall to take a 1-0 lead. Cole came back and hit another last shot and only got a 2 count. Gargano hit a spear off the apron and followed that with a rolling senton. Cole countered a slingshot DDT with a Shigurashi neckbreaker. Gargano hit an air raid crash off the second rope. Gargano hit a slingshot DDT on the ring apron. Broke the 10 count, and Cole tossed Gargano into the ring posts twice. And then Gargano snookered Cole and locked on the Gargano escape. Cole immediately tapped out because he knew, the longer you hold, that's going to sap more of your strength. So you have to, because with the 2 out of 3 falls, when you get that pinfall, you have to give them a break to recover. You can't just stay on them, because that's how wrestling works. So everything set up 1-1. Cole dodged a super kick and a brain buster. Gargano hit, he lawn darted Cole into the second turnbuckle and then hit a half Nelson face buster. It was Gargano's original finisher on the Indies. It was called the Hurts Donuts. And he got a 2 count on that. Cole hit a super kick, straight jacket suplex for 2. Gargano hit a reverse Rana and then a super kick. Cole rolled out of the ring. Cole hit a German suplex into the LED board ring apron. Cole hit the fairy tale ending with Gargano on the Spanish announce table. As Gargano just beat the 10 count into the ring, it's at this point that the Undisputed Era interjected themselves in. Strong tried to distract the ref while O'Reilly raked Gargano's eyes, but that Gargano inadvertently knocked the ref out of the ring, and the other members of DIY, Fish and O'Reilly, hit their finisher. Strong got the ref back in there, but Gargano got up after a 2 count. Gargano attacked all members of the Undisputed Era on the outside. Cole hit a super kick to the back of Johnny's head and then hit another super kick, but only got a 2 count. Gargano snookered Cole into another Gargano escape, and because the Undisputed Era was still out, Gargano rolled away from the ring ropes and Cole tapped out. Afterwards, Johnny Gargano is the new NXT champion. This was a great match. Obviously, incredible storytelling. Like I said, afterwards, Candice LeRae came out and celebrated, and then as the show went off the air, they were on top of the ramp. Ciampa made a surprise appearance, but this time he embraced Gargano, and this wasn't part of the storyline. Gargano basically promised Ciampa a shot when he got back, but Ciampa's gone for a while, unfortunately. And I have problems with this match. Like, it was great, it was enjoyable, I loved it. The only problem I have is Gargano's already on the main roster. We did this whole thing where you called up Gargano, Ciampa, Black, and Ricochet. Black and Ricochet, I mean, the only reason they're tagging or in the tag match at WrestleMania tomorrow is because Ciampa got hurt. But Gargano's been on the main roster. Everything I've heard is saying he's still technically considered to be part of the main roster, so why is he NXT champion? Yeah, I know I'm harping on this a little bit, but it seems kind of stupid to put him on the main roster and then send him back down to the NXT championship. And I mean, I don't see him having a long reign. I mean, I almost guarantee he probably drops it at the next TakeOver. I mean, I don't think he's going to hold this until the SummerSlam show. So, I mean, I'm sorry for coming across being a little bitter on this, but again, he's on the main roster. But yeah, that last little bit's a minor complaint. I mean, to complain, I mean, like I said, it's minor. I know I'm harping on it, and I'll stop, okay? Like I said, it's minor, and really, it does not drag this show down overall. This show gets an A. Again, it looks like NXT is probably going to have maybe another minor culling here. Sorry, the phone went off. Don't know what that is necessarily going to lead to, but hey, we'll see what happens after WrestleMania, I guess. So, obviously the next video up is going to be the random trade review on Shrugged Volume 1. I'm recording this obviously on Friday. This video will be up Saturday morning. I'm probably going to spend most of the day Saturday editing that, so it'll get released on Sunday. Monday morning, probably even Monday afternoon, it's going to be the WrestleMania recap and review. Gearing up for another long show, so see you all next time. Guys, are you tired of me constantly talking only about WWE and NXT? Want to see me expand my wrestling coverage? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time for Cat Productions. Also, remember, if you like the video, give it a like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.